In this video, I'm going to be night fishing this pretty big lake. I've night fished this place twice now and blanked both times, so hopefully I'll get third time lucky in this video and catch one of the whoppers out this place. So let's get down to my peg and get fishing. I've just arrived at my peg for the next 24 hours. I'm going to be night fishing this pretty big lake behind me. I've been here twice before and I've blanked both times, so it's third time lucky. I'm going to get a 30-pound carp today. I can see it coming. I've got all my gear here and I've just got to set it all up now. I'll probably start with the bivvy because that's the biggest thing, and then I can set everything else up from that. But I'm really excited to be spending the next 24 hours here because the fish in this lake are massive. I think every carp in here is above 20 pounds, so it's not exactly hard to catch a 30 or even a 20. And then there's a bunch of Wells catfish in here, 70 pounds plus, so they're huge. But I'm really hoping to catch something in this video, and when I do, it'll be a monster. But let's get to setting up the bivvy because I don't want to be doing that in the dark. And there we go, I finally set the bivvy up. It took me about 15 minutes, it was horrible setting it up. It was these poles that were the problem, they were just a bit stiff. But it's all set up now, and I can get all my gear inside. Obviously, I'll start with the main thing first, the bed. Get the bed set up, and then I'll set everything up around this. So let's do that. There we go, the bed is all set up now. It does take up a lot of the bivvy, but it's absolutely fine. It's only me in there. Now the fun part, setting up my fishing rods. I've bought 3 rods with me as per usual. This one's probably my favourite. Got my Shimano reel on. It's the Daiwa Black Widow rod. Probably one of my favourite rods ever. Just look at the design on that, it's pretty cool. But I'll get this one out first. This one's got a hair rig on, and I'll whack a nice boilie on that. I'll do all of that now though. Now obviously before I set the rod up, I've got to set my rod pod up, which I've already done. It's just down here now, but I've got to choose the alarms that I'm going to be using for overnight. Now I have some in my bag here, some Sonic ones, which are really good actually. Just these ones. I've got 2 of them and the 1 sensor. But then I've got these ones. They're pretty new. They're in this box here. They're the Corum ones. I've got 3 Corum bite alarms here, which is ideal because I'm going to be having 3 rods out overnight. They're pretty neat and they've got a sensor. So I think I'm going to go with these tonight, and I can always change them over to the Sonic ones afterwards. There we go then. Got a nice new lineup. Looking pretty neat. And now I can get the rod out. I've already popped a hair rig on this morning. I've just got to change the boilie over. I'll get the rod to its 12-foot length. It's a pretty big rod, this one is, which is perfect for carp fishing for the size of them I'm going for anyway. Nothing is breaking this rod, and it'll put up a great fight. Now I've got a couple of bags of boilies. These ones are my favourite really, the sticky krill ones. So I think on this rod I'm going to put 2 of these smaller boilies on. Here goes nothing, and I've got the boilies on the baiting needle, and I've got the hair rig here, so I'll just pop them on, clip that on there, and then I'll slide them both down on, and perfect. Not perfect, one of them snapped. Let me redo that one. There we are then, that's the 2 boilies on the hook. I've just got to put the stopper on the end to stop them falling off in the water, and then I'll put the PVA bag on and get it out. I've absolutely loaded this PVA bag full of bait. I've put some of the krill boilies, some of my ground bait, and some part of core bait. I'll get this casted out. Now like I say, this thing is huge. It's so heavy, the PVA bag is, but I'll just give it a whip out to this nice island ahead of me. I'll show you in a moment. That'll do me. There goes the first rod out, and that's by that beautiful island right ahead of me. It's not exactly on it, it's just before it where the water's a little bit deeper. And there we go, the alarm is on, so fingers crossed I'll get a fish whilst I'm setting my other rods up. Now this is the next rod I'll be setting up. It's the Corum Limitless rod. Again, another really powerful rod, so I'll get this one extended to its maximum length. And this one has got a method feeder on at the moment, so I'm going to have to switch that over to a hair rig. As you can see, it's got a feeder on, but I want a hair rig on this thing because I'm fishing for big carp. So I'll open up my hair rig box. I've got a couple of hairs in here, not many, but right there I've got a spinner rig, I've got 3 chod rigs, and then here I've got a hair rig with a boilie already attached. I did that this morning, so I'll put that one on, that hair rig on my rod right now. And there we go, then I've finally got the hair rig on. Obviously the boilie's already on, so I can just put a PVA bag on this and cast it out right away. Well, there you are then, the second rig is now ready to go out. Massive PVA bag, I've loaded that to the brim because I need to get as much bait as I can out there really, so I'll turn the camera this way and I'll cast the rod out now. Now, I'm not too sure where I'm going to go with this one, but I think I might go somewhere over there by the margin. So I'll stand over this way, give it a nice overarm cast to there. There we are, that were a good cast. It's literally right underneath that bush where my finger's pointing right now. I got it really tight in. It's an overhanging willow tree, it looks to be. I don't think it is, but it looks it. One of these 2 rods will 100% catch me something. Now, last but not least, we'll get this rod out. This one, again, has already got a hair rig on, so I've just got to put some boilies on and get it out. Just like that, the final rig is knocked up. PVA bag on, load of boilies in there, and I've got another one of the krill boilies on the hair. So let's get this one out in the middle. I've had a new reel on this rod and it's really smooth. It's the Corum Radius reel and it's actually like dead good. I caught a couple of fish on it in one of my last carp videos and it's amazing. So I'm hoping to catch one on this today. But there we go, straight ahead, right in the middle. That'll get me something, I reckon. And just like that, the main stuff is all out. The 3 rods are out, the bivvy is up. Now I've just got to get all my nets set up and everything like that. Right, there we go then. Net's set up, umbrellas down, got the mats ready for if I do catch a fish. Got my seat there, and then everything I need is down here. And now, it's just time to sit back, relax, get my dinner on, and wait for some bites from the big carp or catfish that I will catch. Anyway, the part of the day I've been looking forward to is dinner. I've brought with me a beautiful steak. Got it right here, fresh from the butcher's this morning. And obviously I've got some stuff to go with it in the bag as well. But I'll get this all cooked up on the good old pan right now. And to cook it all, I've brought my stove with me. This is all it is. It's absolutely great. It's got a little chimney there with a griddle on that, so I can put my pan on there. And you open this, you put the wood in there and it burns. Simple, and it's so good. I've bought a bag full of wood that'll fit perfectly in there with me, so I can keep that fire going for quite some time, keep me warm in the night. But let's get this thing loaded now, get the fire going. To start this thing, I'm just gonna go with some of the softwoods here, and then I've got some pieces of oak here. Obviously I've kindled it all down with the axe this morning, and then I've got some little twigs as well to burn with it. So I'll start the fire with this now, and I've got the fire lighter. I am cheating, I don't have no flint and steel, but can you blame me? Thing is, I forgot my lighter again, so I'm just gonna have to light it with the gas stove here. And there we go, chuck the fire lighter in there, and now I'll get roaring. Everything's just catching a light in there. Soon enough, it'll be hot enough for me to cook my dinner on. It's quarter light, obviously the flame will come through the top for a little while. And I remember the last time I cooked a steak on it, a couple months back, it did that for a while, it died down, and I put the pan on and it heated up instantly. So I'll wait for that, I'll keep stoking the fire with more wood and get cooking. I'm going to prep the steak now then. Beautiful piece of meat that is, it's pretty thick as well. And I'm just going to season it with salt and pepper and get that in the pan. I want to get it to about medium rare, so I'll give it a couple of more minutes on the stove here. That's looking pretty good to me. I put the butter in and it's starting to look divine. Well, there we go then, the steak's looking pretty good. I'll get the rest of my dinner on now, then I'll start eating it. And dinner is served. That looks absolutely banging. I'm gonna sit here and eat this and hope for no bites, for now anyway. Let's give it a quick review though. Let's get a bit of steak off of here. It's really tough to chop with these plastic knives and forks and that, but it'll do. Bit of steak, pepper and onion. I'll tell you what, that is good. Gets a solid 9.5 out of 10, that does. After that lovely dinner, things got dark pretty fast outside. The temperature has dropped and the lighting has dropped a lot. I don't know what the time is actually, I'll check, but it's definitely dark. Oh, there we are, it's pretty much 9 o'clock. It's 8:58 right now, so I'll turn the lights on so you can see me. But it's approaching night time, as you can see. It'll be fully pitch black within the next like 15 minutes, I'd say. Obviously, I've got all three rods out for the night. They're in 3 banging locations. The fire down there's still going. I might keep that going for a little longer, actually, because it's quite warm sitting by it. And then I've got a hot chocolate to make, so I'll do that now. I'll probably do that on the gas stove, though. I've just packed up everything for the evening, so all of the gear is under the brolly just in case it rains. I don't think it is gonna, but if it does, it's under shelter. And then I've put pretty much everything in the bivvy that I need in the bivvy. So I'll set my sleeping bag up now and get some rest. I've set my sleeping bag up just down there and I'm in the bivvy, just looking out at the lake and my rods. I do really hope they go off in the night because that'd be so cool. I've only ever caught small fish. I think the biggest one I've ever caught at night is about 10 pound. And that was a couple of months ago. So I want to catch a monster at night. But if I don't get one in the night, I'm here all day tomorrow pretty much. So I've got a long time ahead of me. So I'm going to put the camera down for the night now. And if I end up getting anything, I'll definitely inform you guys about it. But if I don't, then I shall see you in the morning. Now in the night, something happened. Nothing to get excited over, but it excited me. Right, so it's like 1 AM or something. And my rod's had a couple of bites just. I went outside, checked what it was, and nothing came from it. But that was the first sign of action. Hopefully I'll get some more bites throughout the night. I've got the little bite detector thing right by me, so if I get one, I'll know about it. But I'm going to get back to sleep and hopefully get woken up again. Well, it's now the morning. After that bite I had in the night, nothing else came from it. I slept like a baby. But now it's the morning, obviously. Pretty cold right now. But I'm going to get out my tent and go and see what's happening with the rods. Let's just get out the bivvy now, and it's a nice day actually, it's not that cold out here. But the rods are all here right now. All of the lines are tight, so obviously not much happened throughout the night. But oh well, even though I didn't get nothing in the night, I still have about 6 hours left. Well, realistically, I've got till 6 PM tonight, but I don't think I'm going to actually stay that long. I'll probably stay till about midday or 1 o'clock maybe in the afternoon, and then I'll shoot off then. But let's make the most of them 6 hours or so. And I think what I'm going to do is, because It's because these rods have been out for ages now. I'm going to recast 2 of them and I'll leave 1 out. And then once I've recasted the 2, I'll leave them for the day there, because I don't want to mess with them too much because I'm fishing for the big fish now. So let's do that now and then I'll get breakfast on. To rebait the rods though, I've got to get all the gear back out because everything is under this brolly right now. Pretty much in here. I've got my wipes there, but then I've got all my boilies in there and then everything else is in the bivvy. And just like that, I've got everything I need to bait up. I've got all my boilies out, I've got my particle bait, PVA bags and my little rig box with the bait needle in. Now I've just got to choose what rod to bring in. I think I'm going to go with the first one I casted out in the video. So I'll go with this one right now. Let's reel this one in. I think this is the only one that didn't see any action in the night. The middle one and the end one had a few nibbles, but nothing came from them. This one had nothing at all, so obviously I need to get this one in a bit of a better location. The entire hair rig is still on and the 2 boilies I put on are on, so I'll leave them on, but I'll just knock up a new PVA bag now for it. There we are, then got a new bag knocked up. Let's get it casted out as soon as possible. That one went out to a really nice location. Exactly where I wanted it to go, near the island, but not on the island. It's about 2 meters off the island, so it's perfect really. Now I've got to bring in another rod, because I said I was going to rebait 2 of them. I think I'll go with the end one, and I'll leave the middle one in, because that one was in a pretty good spot last night, so I'll leave it there. This one also was in a good spot, but I just want to bring it in and get some fresh bait out for the next couple hours. There we are, perfect. That's the one with the yellow boilie on. So I think I'm going to change that boilie up for this one, I think. That'll be the new boilie I'm using. So I'll just get the hair and attach this and then slide the boilie down onto the hair. And there we go. I've gone to town on this PVA bag. I've got some krill boilies at the bottom, some of them boilies and 2 of them ones, and then particle bait. This thing's loaded, let's get it out. Now that's all the baiting up I'm going to do today. I might chuck some stuff out with my catapult later actually, but for now that's the rods complete. I'll just let them sit now. Next step in the morning, I've got breakfast to make. I would relight the stove and cook it on there, but I think I'm just going to do it on the gas cooker for quickness. Now for breakfast, I've got 2 eggs and a burger patty. Here's the burger. I picked it up from the butcher's last night with my steak. It looks banging. I can't wait to get it cooking. We'll get that on the pan cooking now. Give it about 5 minutes and then we'll get the eggs on. And there we are then, breakfast is served. Let's give this a bit of a review then. That's what it's looking like. It looks banging. Just chop a bit of the burger, get some of the egg, and there we go. That's delicious. 10 out of 10. Well, that's my breakfast eaten. That was very, very nice, if I'm being honest. But now I've got some washing up to do, so I'll do all that in a moment. None of the rods have gone off still, and I'll be honest, I'm not surprised. This lake is a very tough lake to fish, so if you get one out, you're lucky. Where I am at the moment as well, I'm at the very bottom of the lake. So if you look at this now, this is nothing. It goes round a bend there, and there's a pathway there where I can walk down, and it goes underneath a bridge into another massive part of the lake, which I've fished it before. In the last video I came here, I was on the meadow peg, I think it's called, up the very top end, and that was a beautiful peg, that was. And then the first time I came here, I was on the bailiff's peg, which is the next peg up from here actually. I'm currently on the Pud's peg, I believe. But all in all, this lake's just absolutely humongous. And I'm pretty sure it's stocked with over 300 carp, all 20 pound plus, so it says on the website. But the lake's that big. That 300 carp is nothing. Like, they could be anywhere, and there's a good chance there might not even be down this end of the pool, because the wind, it's blowing that way up towards the other end of the pool. So a lot of the fish will be at the very top peg. I did try and get that peg, but it was fully booked for a couple of weeks. So this one I'll have to do. Obviously, I've got ages left, about 5 hours, so I'll definitely get something. I hope so anyway. We've all come down here now. I believe that the peg next to me isn't tucked up yet anyway, but whilst it isn't tucked up, I'll come down here and have a look at what the lake looks like from this point of view. This is it right here. It's beautiful, to be honest. There's a whole other side to it. Wow, look at this, it's beautiful here. What a nice peg. Basically where my peg is, it's just round that corner that way. Obviously I've walked there from there, but this part of the lake looks quite promising. It's like a big open bed of water. We've got a perfect casting range to the island, and then obviously all the open, there's a few snags over there. Yeah, overall that looks a good peg to me. Let's get back on down to my peg, just down the pathway here. It's not too far at all, just past this tree, and here we go. Go down the steps, and I'm on my peg. Now, all throughout the night, when I was lying in bed, all you could hear was carp on the surface sucking the top of the water. You know when they make that noise when they're sucked in the water, and it's like a big suck? I could hear that all night, and I could hear big splashes throughout the night, meaning that the carp must have been active quite a bit, or even the catfish, but I doubt it was them. They're usually on the bottom. And watching the water now, and when I was watching it last night when it was still daytime, there's loads of little skimmers on the top of the surface, like little roach and stuff jumping. Kind of wish that I bought my pole, because I could have caught a couple of them whilst I'm waiting for the big fish. But yeah, there's loads of sign of life on the top of this lake. It's quite cool. It's currently 10:58, so pretty much 11 o'clock in the morning, meaning I've got about 2 hours left, because I say I want to leave at 1, and I probably will, so I've got 2 hours remaining. I've got to find a way to get these carp feeding. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my catapult out my tub down there, and I'm going to start launching a load of bait out to where I'm cast out. Right, so I've got the catapult here. It's gone so hot all of a sudden, just like in a second it went hot. So I've took my top off because I'm sweating. But I've got the catapult here, so I'm going to load it with a bunch of particle bait, and I'm just going to toss it out over there, and a bunch in the middle as well, nearby where I'm casted out to. I'm going to load a little catapult thing with this stuff, compact it in there a little bit, and then I'll move it over here to where the rods are, and I'll chuck it out over to them bushes first. I think I need a little bit more power on this thing. So what I'm going to do is, you see that little clip there, I'll move that down to the bottom, and that'll create more tension on the little ropey stringy thing so that it will launch the bait out further. Well, there we are then, that's a lot better. I can load that again, squash it all in there, and as you can see it's on the bottom one now, so it's got a lot more tension on it. There we are then, that's the baiting up done. I did a bit more off camera, so that's plenty. And so now it just goes back to the waiting game. It's about 11:30 and it's this hot. I don't know if that's good for the carp fishing. It usually is. On hot days you tend to catch decent carp, but not as many. I think they come out more in windy weather from my experience anyway. But you can catch in any weather, so what does it matter? One of my rods out there just had a beep. It was the end one, I think. I'm not too sure if anything's going to come from it. But if it goes again, I'll for sure strike and try and reel it in. But there we are, I've had a bite. More than likely was some fish, because I'm looking over where it's casted just by the tree there. There's no ducks or anything in the area, so it can't have been nothing messing with the line. That would have been something swivelling around at the bait probably. So come on, let's get me a fish. Got about an hour and a half left. Hour and a half remaining of the session, and it's seeming kind of promising. This morning I've had a few takes on that rod specifically. I've had a lot on that rod. No fish obviously hooked, but I've had some takes. It's probably fish swing around the bait, and it's like his tail's either flicked my hook or something, and it's made the alarm go a little bit. You never know. I'm just sat on my chair here eating my orange, watching the rods, and over there there's a bunch of kingfishers under that tree. I kid you not, I saw about 16 of them is what I counted, and they keep coming back and forth flying. But kingfishers are so rare to see. Like you see one down the canal once in a blue moon, but not this many. I've never seen this many. They're beautiful little birds. There's one there. You probably cannot see them on camera. I'll try and zoom in. I'll just leave the camera there for a few seconds, and you might be able to see them flying in and out. There's about 3 coming in now. There's one flying down there. What a beautiful sight. When I'm editing this video, I'll try and zoom in more on them and see if you can see them, but there's loads of them there. That's beautiful. I'm just stood around here walking around the rods at the moment, because for some reason I feel like I'm going to get a bite any moment. I'm just watching the rod tip and hoping to see one of them just take off. So I remember the first time I ever came night fishing properly with my own rods and that, I was sat here the dead of night watching the end of my rod, and I just saw it go like that. No, it wasn't a carp or anything special. It was a pretty big bream, but the excitement that got me rather than hearing the alarms, it was insane. So I'm just going to stand here for the next like hour and just watch the rods. As I said, I'd stand here for an hour. I've been here for about 30 minutes now, just watching the rod, and I haven't got a bite, which is not surprising me, to be honest. I'm debating whether I'll actually get a bite at this point. Like I said this morning, when I was trying to get to sleep last night and I could hear the carp on the top, I can hear them now in the daylight. They was just out and about. I think there was over by the island down there where one of my rods is near, actually. So I could get a bite from that in a moment. But you can hear them everywhere on the top, just sucking at the top of the water and stuff, which has got me thinking, because it's a hot day, they're more than likely going to be on the surface rather than down at the bottom where it's cooler. Because obviously carp and cold-blooded fish, so they want to be where it's warm, and it's warm on the top and not the bottom. But when it's cold out, they're at the bottom because it's warmer down there. I don't know, they're a bit confusing. But I do only have 30 minutes of my fishing session remaining now, because it's currently 1 o'clock, but I'm going to stay until 1:30 just to push my luck that little bit more. I do really want to catch one, because then I will have been here 3 times and blanked for 3 times. And as I said at the start of the video, it's 3rd time lucky. So come on, I do really hope that the 3rd time is lucky. Just above my setup there, there's a tree, and it's an apple tree of some sort. I don't think it's the edible type of apples either. There's a bunch on the floor. They smell like eating apples. Then a lot of them on the tree, they're all green, which makes me think that they're just cooking apples to make like apple pie with and all that sort of stuff. But that's a nice little tree next to the peg to have. But I think because I'm going shortly, I'm going to start packing away a few of the unnecessary things. Some things that I don't need, like my sleeping bag and my bed chair, and all my baits. I can put them back in its box. So I'll do a bit of that right now. That's one thing out the way, the sleeping bag's packed up, so I'll just chuck that there for a moment. Before I finish packing away, I meant to mention this earlier. I was looking in the water last night and here again, there's loads and loads of little tiny dots moving around, so it's like some sort of larvae. It sort of looks like brine shrimp, if you've ever seen them. Looks like a big school of them, except it's not. It's like really tiny dots of some sort. Quite curious to find out what it is, so if any of you know, please let me know. Anyway, I have the sleeping bags away. I'm just gonna get all of my baits away, put the kettle back in its bag, but I'll put these in the tub now. That's all that packed up now. And I think it's about time to get this bivvy down now as well. It's always the time I dread doing because I really don't like setting it up and down, but it's not that much of a pain. Took me about 10 minutes. That wasn't bad at all. There it is now. I've packed the bivvy away. It took about 9 minutes is what my camera's saying anyway. Now I've just got to pack all of that stuff away. I'm going to leave the rods out until last minute because if there's any chance of me catching a fish, I'm going to take it. So I'm going to leave the rods out until last minute. I've just took a few of my things to the car back there and I'm walking back down to my peg now to get the rest. 2 of my rods are still in, but don't worry, I've got the bite indicator in my pocket. So if anything goes on, I can just leg it down there and get it. So I've got about 5 more minutes with the rods in. Wish me luck. This is what's left of my stuff. As you can see, the 2 main rods are out. I bought the middle one in because that was pretty useless. It didn't get anything. It's time the rod pod goes down. I took the Carp alarms off. These are really good, by the way. They sound amazing. Very loud. Definitely wake you up if you get a bite. And I'm just putting their cases back on and putting them back in, just like that. And now I can put the rod pod away. Obviously the 2 rods are still out. They've got the bait runners on. So if I get something, I'll know, but the chances are low that I will. I'll just keep wishful thinking. I've got to bring this rod in now, and I'll bring the next one in after I've got this in. Such a shame I didn't catch. I did have high hopes for this session, and I did everything right really, but it's to do with the weather mainly. The weather plays a big part in the fact that I haven't caught. It's too hot for the carp really. Now, I did try and get into some good locations for them. For example, I was right by the island and right by that tree, which is where you want to be really, because in the hot weather they'll be under there hiding, because it's cool under the trees, it's shady for them. But I think I'm going to have to invest in a bait boat or something to get out to them locations, because it will come in handy. Now for the next rod, which I have still got the drag on. There we go. I can reel this thing in now. It's almost in. Comes in pretty fast because of the weight. It's like a bomb. There we go. There, the rods are in. I'll just fold them in half, put the bands on and get them to the car. Well, that's me done and dusted for the session. I'll tell you what though, even though I blanked, it was still lovely. I just enjoy being out here camping and fishing. It's great. And I will be coming back again. Not catching doesn't put me off because I know it's a tough lake to fish. But when you catch out of here, trust me, it will be rewarding. I think in total, I was here for about 18 hours maybe, which is quite a while. But now it's come to an end. I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you want to see more night fishing videos, let me know in the comments because I do enjoy doing them. But if you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications whilst you're down there. Become a member of the channel to help support fund these videos if you'd like to. Check out some videos linked on screen here. Again, subscribe to my channel. But for now everyone, I'm off. Thank you very much for watching, but peace for now.